Hey, GD Talbot here again. So today, I think we need to talk about to publish or not to publish. Lots of times I tell people, and the inspirational creative loop ends when you have a full rough draft, but it also ends when you get to the end of the first rough draft and you have to ask yourself the question: Do I or do I not want to share this story with the world? Because when you're publishing, that is in essence what you're doing. You're giving the world the opportunity to read your work. So, as I've been sitting on two full completed novels for a while. The address is still being reviewed by a few places, but Protectors of Life, The Tale of Trudy, I haven't done much pushing, much pitching, anything of it. And it's like, I've talked about this in the past, but it's because it's an extremely controversial book. And when I wrote it, I remember laughing. This is going to get me banned in 3 days. This is going to get me banned in 12 hours. And I realized when I got to the end of the book, it's like, if you're not offended by one scene, at least one scene in this book, I have to ask the question, are you even human? It just is. I mean, I wrote the book and there are scenes in it that offend me. So it's like, do you share that work? It doesn't take away from it. This is a worthwhile story. It is worth reading. It's worth uh, to discuss the points I made in it. And the things that people get upset about is that I've discovered over the years, people get upset about is I put things of in my books that have to do with racism that I don't see people talking about because I want, I like exposing racism. Sometimes it has nothing even to do with the book at all. Like in other books, it's just I happen to throw in a character, population growth. The side character uses racism and to try to motivate. And racism, even being used for something good, is still bad and wrong. That's the reason I threw it in there. Um, but in this book, people are right out just using, finding excuses to be violent racists in this book. And yes, I'm extremely offended by that. I don't like seeing that in my society. And that's the reason I put it in the book, because I think people should talk about it. But I don't know. I come to the conclusion if I really don't think anyone's ever going to traditionally publish this book. It's just too controversial. But it is my first story about salvation, which is something anyone who follows me knows I don't try to put into my works because I feel like everybody writes about salvation. It's not a bad thing. It's just an overdone thing. I think there's a lot in the Christian faith that could be used as entertainment, um, and not just entertainment, motivational thinking, growing as a person. But I think there's a lot of stuff we could write about with Christianity as being the driving force in the writing that doesn't have to do with just salvation. Salvation is the most important thing to a Christian. That's why there's so many works written about it. So I've tried to be daring to be outside it. But this Protector's Life, The Tale of Trudy, is actually the first novel I've written that's actually about salvation. Um, Now, the reason why it's controversial is because I pose the question: what if, after being saved, you fill your heart with hate? Would you still go to heaven? In my book, I imagine that no, you wouldn't, because if you fill your heart with only hate, that's your main focus. There's no room for Jesus, and that is extremely controversial to Christians, and I get that because is that 100% true? I don't know. I can't prove it. I'm imagining it as this being a thing to make people think. Like back to the question: should I self-publish it or not? And I'm really worried that not only will it be banned, all my books will be banned because of the cancel culture going on right now. And just I used some beta readers trying to get some feedback, and only one person was willing to get back to me. And I did a video on this. She didn't even read the book. She openly admitted to it. She read the warning in the beginning and automatically thought it had to do with scenes having to do with raping black women, which I still haven't figured that out yet. I had to inform her that yes, there is a attempted rape scene in the book, and the entire scene takes part with three men. There is no women in this scene, and none of them are are African American or black. They're actually two whites and a Hispanic. So I'm not really sure why she went to this. And of course, she went on. If you watch the video, she went on this tangent about Christians think that rape is okay. Like I've never met a single Christian that thought rape was okay. Like I really don't know what's going on with this woman. But she went on a massive tangent. It's obvious she's anti-Christian. She's pro-culture, cancel culture, and wants to make sure she silences anything she does not like. This is the problem I'm having. I want to share my book with the world, but I'm going to be canceled. I'm going to be attacked. And Christians are cowards right now, and especially in America, and they will not stand up for other Christians. So, what do I do? Because it's a great story. It's a story that takes part through the eyes of a sinner, or an elderly woman who's a director of an abortion clinic, and how her twilight years, the beginning of her twilight years, is when Revelation begins. And it's seen through her eyes, not through the eyes of Christians, through what it would be like for a sinner. Again, more controversy. How dare you, Greg? When writing Revelation, you're supposed to put it through the eyes of Christians. Right? Man, I can't be in your box. I just can't. I can't be in people's boxes. I have to do what I want to create and what I want to make. So, honestly, I don't know what to do. I hope people will watch this video and actually give me feedback. Should I just go for it anyways? Should I just put it out there and see what happens? I mean, I think it's a great and awesome book, but it challenges you to look at things that are going on now, because it absolutely is based on the political atmosphere of today and how it might be a part of Revelation tomorrow. Like, it really is. In the book, technically, the main character is just been born. She would have been born in 2020. So, I don't know. I really hope I can get some feedback in this video. Should I self-publish it or not? Or should I just sit on it? I think it's a wonderful story. I think it's a wonderful book. And I'd love that feedback on it. If anybody out there wants to still be a beta reader, you can. But I'm going to be totally honest with you. I have several beta readers, and none of them are willing to communicate with me what they think about this book. Except one. Like I said, she saw a Christian author and said, "Ooh, I can destroy him." Like, all you've done is made me want to do more. So anyhow, that's it. If you're out and about today, say something kind to someone. Kind words spread joy. And I'm out.